One of the most common questions I get is, okay, Dara, what are the first creatives that I should test in my ad account? Or what are the ad creative formats that all brands should test? So in this video, I'm gonna show you the top 10 creative formats that you need to test inside of your ad account. Why did I choose these formats? These are the ones that I honestly see crush it for brands again and again. And this is actually something that I update quite a bit. There are a number of videos that I've done that showed you at this certain point of time, hey, these are the ad creatives that I would test. And this one has been updated a little bit, specifically for where we are right now in July 2023. And don't worry, if you purchase this course, I will be updating this portion regularly. But to be honest, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you're gonna recognize a lot of these. However, I think I'm gonna be giving a little bit more insider information here, specifically things that I've learned recently from consulting calls with brands, as well as things that I've learned recently with my clients. My expert tip is to put this video on one side of your screen and put the Notion board on the other side. And while I'm going through each of these different ad formats, you can also click through and see how other great brands are also doing them. All right, let's get started. Number one, super easy. You can make this in Canva. It's called a press screenshot ad, and it's made to look like a press article. And again, the reason why this works again and again is because for many demographics, press is the highest form of social proof. However, if you don't have press, this is something that I often hear, I would highly suggest you try doing something like this with a blog post. And I've even seen a few brands doing a fake breaking news segment, which I think is also pretty applicable. The idea here is you want to make people feel like you are legit and legitimized, and one of the best ways to do that is by being featured in a publication. And my big tip here is you don't have to have a huge byline or headline for this to work. You can actually change out the headline a little bit, especially so that you can make it more about you or your brand, but I would not fake these because that would be unethical. The next one is an us versus them ad. Now, if you are in a really crowded market and you have tons of different competitors, then this is a must try. And here's a little bit of insider information for you, because we all know the us versus them ad. I feel like it's pretty basic. Hey, you should try testing this out. Don't worry, you did not pay for this course to hear me tell you to make an us versus them ad. I would be very embarrassed for myself. But what I am going to tell you about this ad is if you have a new Shopify store or a new Pixel, I've actually heard from several new business owners that the us versus them was actually what was working here. I'm actually going to put up 2 ads from consulting clients that I've had. These are pretty basic, right? But these actually were the top performing ads for both of these brands, which is super, super impressive. So again, you don't have to be a graphic design whiz to make this type of thing work. It's really about the basic strategy, really showing why you are better than your competitors. And yeah. Another thing I'll note about this strategy is I often hear from people that they don't want to run this specific type of ad because it feels like you're being negative towards other brands. And I think that is just a little ridiculous because it's an ad creative format. And you don't have to call out Starbucks if you're a coffee brand. You don't have to call out a competitor directly. It can be a lot more broader. And really what you're doing here is you're saying, hey, here is why we're different, and allowing the customer to make the choice to go with you based on that information. Okay, next up is the features point out ad. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite ad creative types to run. This is actually probably the number one creative that when I jump in and do a whole creative strategy overhaul research project with a brand, I'm probably gonna be recommending that they try out a few different versions of this. And my favorite way to approach this right now is actually using a golden nugget review at the very top. So this is definitely one that I would try, and it's a really good one to start bringing in some of that great creative strategy research that you've done. And of course, make sure all the features and benefits that you're pulling out and using are based on the feedback and things that you found that your users really cared about or were really impacted by when they became customers of yours. That was the exact same thing that I did for these Speedo ads, and really zoomed in on, hey, what were they actually really impressed by when they actually got this product product in their hands. Number 4 is a testimonial. Honestly, this is a really simple one, a really great place to start. At this point, you have a number of golden nugget reviews, and so this is a really easy one for you to start putting those to the test. Don't use no boring ass reviews here, please. The next up is a founder's ad. Now, especially if you're a new brand, I would highly recommend starting off with the UGC approach here. In fact, there are a number of brands that have been able to scale really well by utilizing this approach for a majority of their ad creatives. So be sure to check out Leaf Shave as well as Frownies. I am huge fans of them both, especially the founders, who really have blended the founder and creator aspect really well. However, if you're a brand that is starting to scale and you're looking for a bigger swing, investing in something that's a little bit more studio produced and a little bit more of an in-depth expose or lifestyle shoot could be a really good angle here. I've actually done a number of these in New York, and in fact, if you're looking for a production company, let me know. I have the hookup. And you know, these ended up actually being some of the top performers in the ad accounts and are something that I really think that brands who are starting to scale quite a bit need to look into. Next up is UGC. Now, I'm actually going to have another video that's about all of the UGC formats that you should be testing into. But if you're just now starting up your ad account, or you want to make sure that you have a good foundation first, I would make sure that you are trying something that's more problem solution oriented. And I think doing it in the form of a TikTok response bubble is a really surefire way to, number one, make sure that those hook rates are high and that you're answering a question that's really important to your users. So I would actually go through some of your frequently asked questions through your ad comments and take the one that seems to be popping up again and again and putting that right on that TikTok response bubble and then making a UGC creative response to it. Now, again, you can do this as a founder's ad, but you can also do it from the perspective of a user. And I think you should definitely be testing into both types of strategies. The 7th one is the Post-it note. Woof. Now, there are so many different ways that you can do this: image, video. And really, this is super eye-catching because, again, it doesn't look like an ad. Ugly ads, am I right, Very Hot? Here is your shout out in this course. But this is something that is so easy. You can literally do it with your phone. And there are also several different variants that you can try. You can try writing on paper. You can try writing on a whiteboard. But this is something that I find is super eye-catching for users as they're scrolling through their social media feeds. And number 8 is the statistics ad. Now, this is going to be really amazing for you if you actually do have customer research data from the surveys that you're doing or from a research study that you've done. However, I know not everyone has that, so maybe you actually could start conducting surveys in your post-purchase flow of your emails. Hint, hint. And what I will say about the statistics here is you really want to make your statistics transformation based. So you really want to be able to show people, hey, this percentage of people had this type of transformation by using this product. If you're talking about, 15% of people have this specific ailment, honestly, that doesn't tend to work. So that's my little hack for you for this one. Next up is what I like to call social media proof. So this is going to be like a Twitter post screenshot. That is honestly super amazing for B2B brands. I've also seen something like this for Instagram, also works super well for CPG and more lifestyle brands. But again, this is something really good if you don't have press ready to go, because it's really stimulating that idea of social proof. And again, you can take your golden nugget reviews and your most popular testimonials and put them into that format. I actually think this format has a lot more flexibility than press for you to reformat it and showcase this in a way that you think is going to be best for you. And number 10, before and afters. Now, before you guys come at me, this is allowed. Facebook, in fact, has an entire guide on how you can do before and afters. And before you guys go throwing the other rule book at me that shows, before and afters are not allowed for idealized results, what that means is for weight loss ads and for plastic surgery ad. Additionally, another way around this is you really can only use UGC for before and afters. You can't do studio shoots, for instance. And it's also really hard to do like product photography for this. That's going to get flagged. And you don't have to use before and after language. You don't even have to use any language at all. There are so many ways that you can show the transformation of your product. And honestly, this is something that is really key for brands and oftentimes can be seen as a big swing. So if I jump into ad accounts and I'm saying, we're not really doing a good job of really showcasing those benefits, and we don't have enough before and afters and transformations that are being communicated, that specific ad format is often the silver bullet that ends up really scaling things up nicely and providing a lot of stability in the ad account. All right, if you guys want to see a few more of these videos, again, I do have some past videos that I've made. Consider this the July 2023 update, and this is also something I'll be updating in the future. But I will see you in the next module. Let's go, guys. We are getting through this and I am really pumped. Let me know at this point in the course how you're finding it. I am so eager to get feedback so I can start implementing your feedback and making it even better for you guys. I am honestly jazzed that we're finally doing this. So please let me know what you're thinking so far. DM me on Instagram or on Twitter. It would really, really make my day. That's my little secret CTA for you guys. Okay, I'll see you in the next module. Bye.